Now we're live.
Hey, everybody.
Well, that was very scary.
Yes, it was. Fitting for
So,
today's show.
exactly. Folks, I've been sitting here talking to myself for the past 3 minutes, rambling on about nonsense, and we weren't even live. Now we're live. Okay.
Yeah. And I
Facebook
could
alerted me.
and I
Facebook
couldn't
said,
check
hey, you're
yeah, and I couldn't check it out because I
mm,
was still trying to get like some pictures and posters and stuff ready.
yeah,
So I wasn't paying
yeah,
attention. And then
yeah.
so I hear Gary doing this
hmm
fantastic intro. Really just a great intro. And then we get an alert from Facebook, you need to go live. And then so
yeah,
here we are. So this is why we're laughing
this is
because
why. Yeah,
because
dang.
guess what? We haven't been live. So Gary, go ahead and give him that awesome intro again, if you can.
I'll try. Well, it's Monday. That means it is time for Real Pastors Live. Today we have a very interesting and very good show for you all. I don't even remember anything I said from the intro. I'm too frazzled to go through it again. So it is Halloween season. You
Yeah.
know, the weather's turning. It's getting crisp in the air. The trees are turning weird and somewhat colorful if you're into that sort of thing. So Efren, I don't know about you, but a lot of people talk about their pumpkin spice nonsense during these days. But I'm all about the
Extreme
Halloween
nonsense.
movies. Yeah, what
Yep.
movies do we need to watch this Halloween season? And that is what we're talking about today. You
Yep.
know, what movies do we feel are best for the Halloween season?
And, uh,
So
and and one thing I thought that you said in that great intro that no one got to hear but
the
me
the one that yeah
is uh is Gary and I aren't huge like horror slasher type of people.
no
So if you're looking for demonic or camping
yeah
woods,
yeah
I forgot how Gary put it, but if you're looking for those kind of
I,
movies, that's a different
if
show. That's a,
yes
that's a different channel. Let's put it that way.
if
That's
you're
not
looking for
us.
demonic possessions or go out camping in the woods, get killed by a person, then that's another show for you. That's not what we're talking about today.
Hmm.
Movies that we feel bring the Halloween experience that are from our childhood that we feel still hold up today. You
And
know,
yeah,
most of them from our childhood, some not.
yeah, most of them from the childhood, but that feeling of
Mm-hmm.
now it's Halloween. Like we're gonna watch
Mm-hmm.
these every Halloween. Just like
Oh
how
yeah,
you have every Christmas, you have certain movies
every
that you'll watch
Christmas.
every Christmas. These
Mm-hmm.
are that you'll watch, and these are the ones that again we grew up with. That's how we
Mm-hmm.
kind of looked at our list. Is
Mm-hmm.
this is what we grew up on? This is what we watched as kids. This is what got us in the Halloween spirit to get
Mm-hmm.
ready to go demand candy from adults.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. And some of these may surprise you. Some of these may be
Yeah,
on your list. So comment along. Let us know, what do you watch for the Halloween season, and have you seen some of these movies? We got Daniel back with us. Hey, Daniel.
yeah. What's up, Daniel?
And let us know, what are some things you like to watch during the Halloween season.
Yep.
So, man.
And so let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Yes, I am decked out in my Atlanta Falcons gear,
Mm.
and because I am ready to watch 3 quarters of great football. So
I see what you did there.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm ready to watch 3 quarters of great football, and then I'll probably just turn the TV off after
Led by head coach J.J. Abrams.
that. Nailed it.
I can't say anything. My football team is on their 25th year of a rebuild, so lost
That's
again
right.
yesterday. Of course, they beat the
So
Jaguars. Dolphins beat the
yeah, well,
Jaguars two
there you
Thursdays
go.
ago, so that was like a minor league football game. you know,
Yeah,
but
the Canadian Football League. So,
there you go.
but yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah.
but
So that's what I'm ready for, and I love the
hey,
J.J. Abrams keeping things movie
hey,
style. You know,
but hopefully
as the
hopefully that zinger will help me redeem myself after losing that, not going live for that intro. You know,
oh, it does.
but
I love it because it's perfect. Because what was it?
mm,
Someone jokingly said about J.J. Abrams, he never saw a franchise he couldn't stick the landing or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, yep. And for the most part, it's true. You know,
It's true.
so how we have this set up today is Efren and I sent each other our list of Halloween movies, and
Hmm.
we took ones that we both had, and we're gonna go through those together. And the few that we didn't have, that we didn't both have, we're gonna briefly talk about that individually and why we have it on the list. Is that correct? Is that how you
Yep,
envision
yep,
this?
that is
Okay.
correct. That is how
Um,
we are doing that.
so, surprisingly, majority of the movies were the exact same except for a handful.
Yep,
So,
yep. Except for a
so
handful.
yeah.
So I guess we should go ahead and dig into some of these. And
Hmm.
I don't. We don't. This isn't necessarily in order. This is just
No.
we're
Hmm.
just throwing the ones that we had
Yeah.
that we had combined here, and
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, sorry folks, I had to do work on my computer, so now it's demanding that I do some stuff. So just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened there.
Yeah, there's something about movies on Halloween. You know, that's what we always did growing up. We go trick or treating. Pizza is. I feel like pizza is involved in every holiday at some form of fashion in
As
my
it should
life.
be.
You know, yeah, exactly. And pizza, movies, trick or treating. Come back, eat all the Halloween candy, watch some of these movies. But yeah, there was a couple times as a kid I'd watch movies I shouldn't have on Halloween, and then
Yeah,
been completely frightened and not sleeping.
that's all right though.
And
All right,
I
so
feel like these movies will be safe though.
oh yeah,
Except for
these are
one that Efren's going to mention that I still cannot watch to this day.
poor guy. So here we go. Here's our first one.
Yep.
Is
No doubt.
Hocus Pocus.
Classic.
Yeah. So I'm glad this one is on the list. I'm glad to see the Gary also had on the list because
Oh yeah.
it is. It's just like this is just to me the epitome of a Halloween movie. I mean, because not only does it take place on the holiday, but it is like it just everything about it, everything wrapped around it is all about Halloween. And then of course it takes place on Halloween and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like a fun movie. It makes fun of a lot of the. It doesn't take it like too gruesome or Halloween-esque,
No.
where it's just like, we want to scare you or frighten you or be gross. No, it's just it's really showing more the fun side of Halloween and just and yeah, you have your witches and stuff and sorcery or whatever, but it's more just, hey, let's just have fun with this holiday kind of movie, and that's what I really liked about it.
Oh yeah, I've been watching this movie since I was a kid. I actually saw this movie for the first time because I got a certificate from kindergarten, a free movie rental from Sand Dollar Video in Carolina Beach when I was a kid, and I went and I rented this movie and loved it as a kid. It still holds up in my opinion. My daughter has already started watching it. She was watching it the other day on her Kindle. I was like, "What are you watching?" And she goes, "Hocus Pocus. It's Halloween, duh." And I was like, first I was alarmed, and I was like, "No, I'll let her watch it. She really enjoys it." But yeah, it's just quintessential Halloween movie. It takes place on one day, Halloween night. And these witches get to come back, and hilariosity ensues because I didn't realize as a kid, but as an adult, this movie's hilarious to me.
Oh yeah.
Just all the things they do. It's the fish out of water story. They're from like 1800s to 1993 or something. And yeah, it's just so funny. One part I always quote is when they're walking out and they see the paved road. And it's such a quick thing, but they don't know what it is. And Beth Midler, she puts her foot on it. She goes, "Why it's a road?" That part cracks me up every time. But you said it best. This movie's fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't take itself too seriously. It doesn't try to be over the top with the witchcraft or whatever you want to call it. It's sorcery type of stuff. And then you have the book with the eye, and you got Binks the cat, and the whole brother sister dynamic. So.
And even like the zombie guy, like when he comes back, like that would have been a good opportunity for them to be gross about things.
Yeah.
But they did it. They made it fun and joking and all that kind of stuff. I mean, yes, and of course you may look at it and be like, well, it's a Disney movie. Of course they're gonna be that way. But at the same time, like sometimes Disney likes to push the envelope a little bit. And but I'm glad they definitely kept it family friendly, and that's what made it so much better.
When the one sister rides the vacuum cleaner.
Oh yeah, because you couldn't get anything else. Yeah.
I don't know what it says about me that I'm 32 years old. I'll watch these movies I've been watching since kindergarten. I still laugh the same. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that's says something good about the movie or just something about my immaturity. I don't know. But
I think the answer to that is yes. I think
yes. So yeah, what a great movie. So, Hocus Pocus is a must watch.
Hocus Pocus, yes.
Yeah, we watch it several times.
And by the way, if you have, I found this out last night. If you have Disney Plus, they now have a Halloween collection where some of them, quite a few of the movies we're going to mention today is in that Halloween section, and you can watch them if you have Disney Plus. Just a fun fact for you.
I just want to say something real quick on Hocus Pocus in case my brother's watching. 1995, October 1995, Game 6 of the 1995 World Series, Braves versus Indians. The game the Braves clinched the World Series. I missed it because I had to watch Hocus Pocus with my younger brother because he was scared. So I will always think about that. As much as I love this movie, I'll always think about it. I'm obviously a Red Sox fan, but back then it was all about the Braves as a kid because of my dad. But yeah, I missed the Braves' one and only World Series because my brother was too scared to watch Hocus Pocus.
Maybe this year the Braves will get back, but that's a different channel. Yeah. So, all right. So moving right along here to the next one, this
is Halloween. Sorry.
Yes, thank you. So, The Nightmare Before Christmas. This movie, I actually just watched it 2 days ago. So Sayla, I introduced it to Sayla last year, I think, and then this year I introduced it to Nala, and they had a lot of fun with it. This is just another. I mean, I know we're hitting 2 Disney movies back to back, but this is just another classic one. That comes out, comes from the mind. He didn't direct it, but it comes from the mind of Tim Burton. Like these were Tim Burton's characters. This is his story. He wrote it and stuff like that. But Disney had the rights to it, and so he collaborated with the director, which I forget who it was, which is terrible because no one knows who the director was. But it was just just a very Tim Burton. Very obviously this is his claymation style. Which is great, and it works a lot of the time because sometimes claymation movies just look terrible, but this one actually looks good.
It is time.
Yeah, and even watching it now, I was like, man, this thing still holds up, and it's like one of those things where it's 100% a musical, and you guys know how I feel about musicals, but just to remind everyone, it's live action musicals that I can't stand, but animated musicals I have no problem with. We can have that discussion another day. But so this is very much a musical, and like all the songs are iconic. The story is iconic. Is this guy who gets Jack Skellington? He gets bored with his holiday, doing the same thing every year. So he looks for something different. Stumbles upon, I guess, the forest of dimensions or something. There's no explanation for it. It's fantastic. But he finds the Christmas tree one, finds Christmas land, and tries to take over Christmas, and therefore makes a nightmare of Christmas. So. Which is also a great thing about this movie is it doubles as a Christmas movie.
Yes, it does.
So that's what I love about it. You can watch it in October, then you can watch it again in December.
Yep. And I do. I watch it at least 3 times this whole season. I adore this movie. This is another one, like I said, from my childhood. And the thing about musicals, I like musicals if the music is good. And the music in this movie is, like I said, it's iconic. Just seeing the poster, I immediately go to "This is Halloween" and "What's this? What's this?" An original story, like they're Halloween, that's their holiday, that's what they do, and he wants to be Christmas, and it's a great movie. So my daughter Lainey got on our Vudu account the other day somehow and bought it for $20, and you see why I'm upset because we subscribe to Disney Plus. My wife texted me. She said, "Hey, did you buy something on Vudu for $20?" I was like, "No." And I went on there and saw Nightmare Before Christmas, and she goes, "Oh, that's what Lady must have meant when she was like, 'Can I watch the Christmas Halloween movie?'" And she thought she was on Disney Plus, but she was on Vudu. So we really love this movie. We're buying it when we can stream it on Disney Plus. But. It's so good. I'm just not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to leave it on there for security reasons.
You might as well.
But you're right. This movie, Christmas movie, Halloween movie. The answer is yes. Such an iconic Halloween and Christmas movie, and I can't remember what VHS tape it was, but remember when we'd pop in a VHS tape as a kid and they would have previews. I remember I had a VHS tape that had this trailer on it. And that's what I remember. The trailer, it had the guy going, "Nice work, Bone Daddy."
Yes.
I always thought that part is funny.
Yeah. And the thing is, and because of that trailer, I always thought that guy got mad at Jack Skellington because he threw a coin in his saxophone. And then when you watch it, watch it, especially as an adult, you realize no, he's actually complimenting Jack. For the good Halloween work. But I thought he was mad at him. He's like, "You messed up my tunes."
Nice work, Bone Daddy. But great movie. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Very,
You
very
know.
good. So moving right along here, here's our next one. And Gary, go ahead. I mean, we both adore this movie, but I know how much
Oh
you
my
adore this
gosh.
movie. So go ahead, Gary. Give it to him.
Michael Keaton is a national treasure. He is one of my, if not maybe my favorite actor of all time. The man can be Batman. He can do something like Multiplicity, do something like Mr. Mom, and then he can be Beetlejuice. You know,
Hmm.
Beetlejuice is weirdly amazing. It is one of the most bizarre movies ever made, but I love every second of it. It is
Hmm.
so crazy, and Michael Keaton just nails this character. You know,
Yep.
just yeah, I mean, Beetlejuice is must watch every Halloween for me. You know, and it's really, if you've never seen it, I don't really know how to explain the premise of this movie. Just watch it. You know,
Yeah.
as a kid, because this came out a little bit before I was born, I saw the cartoon before I saw the movie,
Hmm.
and then I watched the movie, and at first I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then Michael Keaton shows up. You know, and
Hmm.
then the scene where they meet Beetlejuice is one of my favorite scenes of all time. You know, I got plenty of snakes and lizards for him to play with. You know, come on down. You know, I thought we had a deal here. You know,
Yeah.
it's just nice model. But you know, it's such a great movie. It is hilarious. It is, like I said, it is bizarre. It is weird, and I love every second of it. And
Hmm.
you know, the family in it is annoying, but in the right way. And
Hmm.
yeah,
As they're supposed to be.
Beetlejuice, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is,
Um,
yes. And we've seen the return of Tim Burton to our list
hmm
with this as well. Um, and it is, again, this is where I think people maybe, because Tim Burton movies are usually so weird, this is
hmm
where I think people don't appreciate the genius of Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Is because like he like for the longest time he just kept churning out original movie after original movie after
Yes.
original movie, and
hmm
yes, they were weird and they were psychotic. I think one of the commentaries in our extra features, he talked about how making films was kind of his like going to a psychologist and working through his issues,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he was able to put it out like on film and stuff like
hmm
that.
hmm
Um, but this is just a great one, and of course, like and Tim Burton likes his certain actors, and Michael
hmm
Keaton was one of his certain actors that he liked to use in his different movies. But it was, because the fun thing for me is I actually saw this movie first, and then I saw the
Okay.
cartoon series, and
Okay.
and then and so
Whoops.
you're good. So watching this
Sorry.
movie, as a kid, I remember the same thing, kind of like, what's going on? Like
hmm
this is just weird. And then, but then then of course once Beetlejuice shows up, you realize like, oh, this is just so much fun.
Yeah.
And again, it's
Yeah.
just another like, there are some moments where you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of gross, but it isn't
hmm
like over the top gross, I guess,
No.
either.
No.
Um, because they still try to make it very cartoonish
Yeah.
because it is a lot about the afterlife.
Dale.
Yeah, Dale. But yeah,
Yeah.
but they even make fun of like how people die in the afterlife, and
hmm
and how to live after you're dead, kind of thing. I guess is the
Yeah.
best premise you
Yeah.
can do. And then you have this guy Beetlejuice is just in there like messing everything up,
hmm
and
Don't even say his name.
yeah,
You know.
you got to say it
But
3 times.
yeah.
So it just
Showtime.
yeah, another just very
Oh,
fun
I love it.
movie, and you
hmm
can tell everyone on set had a blast making this movie. It was just fun, and
hmm
that's just. But again,
Yeah.
another good one for Halloween to
Yep.
watch.
Part. You know, to keep with my theme of random parts that make me laugh that are just so random is when they get the handbook and Alec Baldwin reads it and he goes, "Handbook for the recently diseased." It's like recently deceased. That cracks me up. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
Beetlejuice, man. Holy cow. And we'll
yeah,
go to the comments and there we go. Boom.
yeah.
Daniel, Halloween's not my favorite holiday, but I'm going to go Beetlejuice and Hocus Pocus is my top two.
There we go. So
Can't go wrong
Daniel,
there.
yeah,
Can't go
Daniel
wrong there.
on the same
But
level
yeah,
as us here, and
yeah.
yeah. So with anyway, so that's what it is, and that's the thing.
hmm
You start seeing this is where the good stuff is. So here's another one
hmm hmm
that we have here is
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. The first
hmm
Ghostbusters. Second one's
Yep.
fine, but the
hmm
first one is where it's at.
Yep.
And
Classic.
again, another one that's it doesn't the entire movie doesn't take place on Halloween, but the
No.
climax does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and and this is one that the cartoon series came out and the
hmm
toy line, and then they made a movie based on that cartoon series, and
hmm
um and so of course kids like me and Gary love the cartoon, this came out, we're freaking watching it. And then you
Oh, yeah.
see it, and you get to see them use their photon packs and everything that they're doing, and it's just so much fun. As an adult, you don't realize how much adult stuff is in it.
There's a couple of things in there. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
oh wow, okay, so they put that in what's supposed to be a kids movie. And as a kid, I just gobbled it all up and didn't realize. Probably explains why I'm so messed up. But
yeah,
but just seeing that, and then of course the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man at the end, just everything about it, and then just all the sciencey jargon that didn't make sense. Like, it was just great. It's just another great movie to watch.
It's Bill Murray being Bill Murray from the mind of Ivan Reitman and Harold Ramis. Throw in Dan Aykroyd, some side characters like Rick Moranis, who get well soon, by the way, Rick Moranis.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard about that. A bunch of savages out there. And Sigourney Weaver. It's classic comedy, must watch on Halloween. It's got some creepy stuff in it too, like the beginning with the library. Yeah. But this is my favorite Bill Murray movie. He's just absolutely just hilarious. Dog and cats sleeping together, or living together. I don't know, great movie. And also an original concept. They wanted to do. If you watch the making about this movie, Netflix has a great documentary called "The Movies That Made Us," kind of from the same thing about the toys made us. And the one about Ghostbusters is really great.
It is
about how they, how Harold Ramis and Ivan Reitman came up with this idea for Ghostbusters. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's iconic. It's
very iconic.
Movies like Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters, just once again, why the 80s were great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we got some and they're still relevant and they're still around.
Yep. And it's like, these are movies, especially Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice. You can watch them whenever you want, but make sure you watch them during Halloween.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So that's definitely where that's at. So here's another one. This one might surprise some people, but I don't care. It's good old Casper.
Yeah.
So this is one that I know for me as a kid, like I watched, because the character's been around forever. Like 50s or 60s is when this cartoon started.
Long time.
Yeah, so he's been around forever. So the character is iconic, and so of course, like generation after generation got different iterations of it. Like me, I was able to watch newer versions of Casper, in the 80s. What's to say, late 80s when I was actually able to remember stuff, and then 90s. But also then my dad, of course, found like an old VHS of all the classic Casper cartoons. So I got to watch a lot of the old ones.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I got to watch that. And so when this movie came out, it was like, for me and my friends, like everyone, like we were all like, we have to go watch this movie. And then listen, and this is when Pizza Hut did a lot of cool stuff back in the day. Back in the day, if you went to Pizza Hut and got a kid's meal personal pizza, they gave you a glow-in-the-dark plastic puppet of one of those 4 characters that you see.
I remember.
And then I had, I got Fatso, and I got Casper, and I got Dretch. I didn't get Stinky though.
Nice.
And so, but it was just like those kinds of things. And this movie, again, not based on Halloween, but based around Halloween.
Yeah.
And then the climax is on Halloween, but of course with Ghost and Goblins, they have a Halloween party at the house. They're in a spooky house, like just so much fun. Just one thing I will say about this, because I didn't remember this, I watched it with my kids. There's quite a bit of cursing in this, so if you don't want your kids to hear it too early, don't let them watch it. I let my kids watch it. I was like, oh, and I was just hoping they didn't really catch them all.
I made the same mistake with Lainey last year, but she loved it though. Fatso made her laugh every single time he came on the screen.
Yeah.
A great speaking of Ghostbusters, a great Dan Aykroyd cameo.
Yes.
But yeah, Casper. I saw this in the theater. I remember the Pizza Hut stuff, and it's just still so it's really great Halloween movie from our childhood. And one part that it makes me laugh that Lainey likes to watch is when they're sending different people in the house, like a priest and Ghostbusters. And the priest guy, he's like, piece of cake, piece of crumb cake, And he comes walking out, his head's on, he comes out, his head's on backwards.
It's a turn around. Well, I think,
I think, that makes Lainey laugh every single time. But and Bill Pullman in this movie.
Yes.
The great Bill Pullman.
Yes, the great Bill Pullman. Does a great job with this. And then, what is it, Christina Ricci?
Who was in pretty much everything when we were kids for a while.
Oh, yeah. She was
Addams
she
Family,
was
she was
she was the it girl for everything. She was in
Mm-hmm.
so much stuff back in the day. Have no
Yeah.
idea what happened to her,
I have no. Yeah.
but
I
she
haven't
was
seen her
the
in
it
any.
'90s girl for all these
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
more kid friendly movies.
Yeah. But
So
Casper.
yeah,
Yep.
definitely check out Casper. That'll be one that you want to see. So then,
Mm-hmm.
before we get to our newest one, here's this one that needs to be brought up: the movie Signs,
Mm-hmm.
um, by M. Night Shyamalan, one of his
Mm-hmm.
great movies. This was, I believe, this came out after Unbreakable. I think that's
It
correct.
did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you had Sixth Sense, you had Unbreakable, and then you had this movie. The man was just on a roll, and I remember just of course you see M. Night Shyamalan like, oh, okay, cool, this is going to be good because he already had his reputation. But
Mm-hmm.
then you saw the trailer, and then the trailer just showed like stuff in the cornfields, and you
Mm-hmm.
knew, okay, something with aliens, but what's going on? Of course, like you don't really know what's happening, and then you go into the movie theater. The opening scene, the opening credits is credits with that dun 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 dun
Mm-hmm.
dun 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 dun, dun, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's just like that grayish background with words, and you're just already your heart's racing, and
Mm-hmm.
nothing's happened. Like it's just music and letters, like
Gosh.
nothing has happened. Your heart is racing, and then you get into it, and this isn't necessarily like a Halloween movie, like it happens during Halloween. It's
Mm-mm.
just, but it feels when you watch the movie, it feels very like it's happening during the fall. People are wearing
Mm-hmm.
jackets, and so it's a fall movie, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely would qualify as a Halloween movie because it has that Halloween feel without
Mm-hmm.
actually like saying it's based on Halloween or around Halloween.
Yeah. This movie's creepy. Everything about it is
Hmm.
wonderfully creepy in all the right ways. I
Hmm.
saw it twice in the theater.
Like a man.
It yeah, and it is just it. I wouldn't put many alien movies. I wouldn't think of them being Halloween movies. Like I thought about different
Hmm.
ones, like something like Aliens, Independence Day. I'm watching those in the summertime, Fourth of July type stuff. But this movie belongs right here, this time of the year.
Hmm.
Halloween, something about aliens coming to the Earth. They're on a farm, and it is just it's incredibly acted,
Oh yeah.
incredibly directed. Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix, Macaulay Culkin's brother, their creepy
Yeah.
sister, you know,
Yeah.
and it's got some funny parts too. But yeah, Signs is
Yeah. The
yeah,
sheriff, she does a great
yes,
job trying to hold
mm-hmm,
it together and be freaked out.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, she
And they're
does a
talking
great
about
job in
things
it.
that happen past tense to this family, and you don't really know, but the way they talk about it's just like, what is going on,
Yeah.
And yeah, but you talk about Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs back to back to back. Mr. Shyamalan could do no wrong back
Oh
then,
yeah. He got any budget he wanted, and that's what kind of
Mm-hmm.
was his downfall. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but what made these movies great, and especially this one too, is you used to alien movies, used to these big blockbusters, aliens taking over the world. You see in this worldwide thing, but what made these movies great and like pretty epic, but also creepy, that I thought Shyamalan did great at, which he got back to with Split, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
was he kept it very contained. It was
Yes.
about this, it was about this one family's experience with their past and how they're together and why they're together, but then
Mm-hmm.
also in the midst of what's happening globally. And
Mm-hmm.
he never, like, you hear glimpses and you see like news reports of glimpses of here's what's happening around the world, but it's like they were just trying to watch that for information, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like for the sake of we're showing what's happening around the world. It's still very contained to what is
Yep.
happening with this family. And I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
even elevates this movie to being more creepy and just being what it ended up being and being a classic that it is.
Yeah, and it follows the rule that I live by, that I look for in movies. Less is more.
Yes.
You don't even see these creatures till towards the very end. You
Yeah.
get glimpses, and that adds so much to this movie.
Hmm.
And you can tell, Shyamalan takes a lot from Steven Spielberg, especially when
Hmm.
you watch this movie. And The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs all have something in common. He does not reveal to you exactly what is going on. Like you watch the movie and the movie the story reveals itself to you as the movie goes on, and I love that about
Hmm.
his style, especially in this movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but
And that's
yeah,
what makes it
Signs.
great. And
Yeah.
and it's just like, a lot of times, especially now in the age of MCU, DCEU, or whatever the heck's happening, like with all these people going after the big blockbusters, which was
Mm-hmm.
certain, again, MCU, there's a reason why they did it that way. The movie started
Mm-hmm.
off very character focused because they
Mm-hmm.
had to build these characters. But then, of course, like comic books, you want the big stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
understand it. Obviously, we love them. But it's good to get movies like this where it's a lot more contained, and you're seeing what's happening to a specific group of characters in the midst of a bigger ordeal. And and that's what I love about it. And even on that note, which brings us to our last one here, is A Quiet Place.
Yep.
And another one, less is more, as you say.
Speaking of contained.
Very contained. Again, one family, what's going on in this family. You know something has happened, but you still don't really, I mean, honestly, by the end of this movie, you still don't really know how it happened. You just know it happened. And if you haven't seen this yet, you need to. It's been out like 2-3 years. But the second one's about to come out. But
we hope.
Yeah, we hope. But another one, very contained, brilliantly acted, written by John Krasinski, whatever.
Tuna.
Tuna. And then his wife, Emily Blunt, who plays his wife in the movie as well, and the two kids and such in it. And I know we did a bigger in depth with this movie a few episodes back, but yeah, just another great one. Again, not necessarily this is based around Halloween, but if you want a good, just good creepy Halloween movie without all the crazy slasher gore, demonic, all that kind of stuff, this will do it. This is also another one that kind of takes place in the fall-ish, maybe end of summer, early fall-ish kind of movie. So it'll definitely give you those Halloween feels, and definitely another good one to check out during this Halloween season.
Oh yeah, it's right there with Signs. What a double feature. Signs and Quiet Place. Imagine watching those back to back. It's got all the creepiness. You don't know exactly what is going on, and you're with this family. And I love this movie. Watched it with my wife not too long ago, and I am ready for the sequel. Hopefully we'll get it sooner rather than later, but who knows?
Hopefully so.
Yeah. A Quiet Place definitely belongs on this list. And I've gone back and forth, a lot of alien movies, stuff like that, sci-fi, those feel like summer movies to me, but Signs and A Quiet Place, they belong here.
Yeah. I agree. That's, again, you can watch them like Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice. You can watch them. But they really should be watched during this season. Just to keep, if you're trying to get that feel and feel like, I wanted to feel more Halloweenish, those are movies. Pretty much like all these movies, but don't be ashamed of saying, Signs and Quiet Place is a Halloween movie, because it doesn't take place, but it's very much a movie you can watch during Halloween and still get that feel that you want.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess at this point, do you want to do our honorable mentions, sir?
Yeah. Some of the ones that we talked about, we had separately. Just kind of quickly go through them. You want to go first or shall
I'll go ahead and go first.
Okay.
So the other ones that I had on here, I do not have graphics for these, so just listen on. The other one was Sleepy Hollow, with Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp and crap, I forgot her name. What's her name?
I can see her.
So can I.
That sounded weird. Also directed by Tim Burton, correct?
Yes, also directed by Tim Burton. So again, Sleepy Hollow, the story is a classic Halloween story anyways. The movie, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but they thought it was kind of weird or whatever. Again, it's the Tim Burton effect. You have people who love it, people who hate it. But I thought it was great. I think that's right in there with it. If you can, this is on Disney Plus. The Adventures of Mr. Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Again, it's another Sleepy Hollow story. But then Halloween Town, that was one that as a middle schooler came out on the Disney Channel as a straight to Disney Channel movie. So that was a lot of fun. Definitely the feel of Halloween and everything is called Halloween Town. So, this girl, she finds out that her family comes from a family of witches, and there's a Halloween town where all the ghouls and stuff live, and once a year they can come to Earth and visit and all this kind of stuff. And so all that, I mean, it has this Disney Channel cheesiness, but definitely a good one to check out. Haunted Mansion starring Eddie Murphy. Again, another Disney one. Yeah. And so that one's another one. Again, it's fun. This is where Eddie Murphy was really hitting his stride into making more family movies, because he had kids and he wanted his kids to be able to watch.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah, exactly. He has kids. Oh, maybe make movies that are more appropriate for kids.
You don't think his kids are watching 48 Hours?
I guess not. Yeah, or maybe Beverly Hills Cop? No?
Probably not, no.
Yeah, so he did that, and then, so I thought it was great. It was a fun movie. And then The Sixth Sense, again, going back to M. Night Shyamalan, The Sixth Sense, another, doesn't necessarily take place during Halloween, but because of the story, it is very much a Halloween movie. Give you the Halloween creeps, and
That
just a whole lot of
movie,
fun. So those are the different ones that weren't on Gary's list, but I would still have on my list.
The Sixth Sense is a great movie.
Hmm.
That movie absolutely terrifies me. I can't watch it to this day. I haven't watched it since I remember everything about it. I still think about scenes in that movie when I get up to go to the bathroom at night. I
Yeah.
have to shut the bathroom door so a ghost doesn't run past me.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so it did its job.
it
Watch
did
on
its
Halloween.
job, and it terrifies me so bad. But great movie. So mine are three from my childhood that I still watch to this day. Well, one I haven't seen in a long time, but the first one's Ernest Scared Stupid. Great movie from my childhood. You
Love
know about
that
fun. I mean, it's earnest. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's hilarious. It's cheesy cornball humor. But I love it. Love
It actually
Ernest.
takes place on Halloween.
Actually takes place on Halloween. All these movies I'm about to talk about have something in common. I'll tell you in a minute. But Ernest Scared Stupid, haven't seen it in years. The Blu-ray is crazy expensive, by the way. Just a fun fact, because I've gone to buy it, but it's like apparently it's rare. I don't know.
That's a shame.
Another one is the Monster Squad. Love Monster Squad. The monster, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Mummy, Frankenstein, and Wolfman take over their town, and these kids band together to save it. Really good lesson in this movie because they have this ancient book that they have to read by to kind of help save, and it was like, oh, that's cool, But yeah, love Monster Squad. And the last one that I watched as a kid is The Lost Boys. Watch it every year. Love this movie. I'm not a big vampire guy, and I avoided this movie for a long time because I thought it was like, something we should avoid. But I watched it not that long ago, and surprisingly, other than it's violent, with the vampire stuff, but it's surprisingly pretty clean for a movie that came out back in the day. It's probably all these movies probably family friendly, but maybe this one, stick to the PG-13 rating. But love The Lost Boys, and one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, The Lost Boys. Listen to it regularly.
There you go.
So, yep.
Yeah. So yep. So there's that. We have another comment here. Kevin King, you're going to talk about the two Tyler Perry Madea Halloween movies. So I know for me personally, I I don't really care, and I know people get mad at me. I don't really care for the Tyler Perry Madea movies, mainly because, and maybe I haven't watched the right ones. I've only seen like three, and of the three, none of them were the Halloween ones. So because I've always felt like, I guess I got mad at Tyler Perry because I felt like he always sold me on this hilarious comedy of Madea, and then through the trailers. And then when you watch the movie, it's this sappy drama with a little bit of Madea sprinkled over top of it. And so that's why me personally, I've never cared for the Madea movies. So, and like I said, the ones I watched weren't like, weren't the Halloweens. I watched like Family Reunion or whatever that one was called, Tyler Perry's Family Reunion, Madea Goes to Jail. And honestly, I can't remember what the other one was. But all of them, it was like, when Madea was on screen, it was on point. It was hilarious. It was great. But it was kind of like the 2014 Godzilla movie. Madea was on screen for 11 minutes of a 2-hour movie, and I just wasn't having it.
Madea versus Godzilla. We're going to get that movie soon.
Well, it probably sucked because both of them will be on screen for 11 minutes each. What are you going to do the rest of the time?
I've never seen any of the Madea movies. So I have no comment. I just never seen them.
So I can't.
Kevin.
We haven't watched them. It's probably the short answer. We haven't watched them.
Yeah.
But I always feel like when Madea comes up, I always have to give people the speech on why I hadn't watched this Halloween or this one.
You have like a prepared speech ready. Hold on.
Yeah. I was like, all right, hold on. Turn on the teleprompter. I got this.
Efren, do not.
Yeah.
But so those are our Halloween movies. So check them out if you haven't seen them. Maybe you can add these to your Halloween viewing list. And
And like I said earlier, a lot of these movies, since they are owned, under the umbrella of Disney, if you have Disney Plus, go to the Halloween collection, and Hocus Pocus, Haunted Mansion, Halloween Town. I'm just trying to think of Nightmare Before Christmas. They're all in that Halloween section, and you can watch a lot of those.
If you have Disney Plus and you want to watch Nightmare Before Christmas, go there and watch it. Don't go to Vudu and pay $20.
Or don't let your kids have access to your funds.
She's not supposed to. Megan was working and she got the remote. I wasn't home. It's Megan's fault, really.
How about making it password protected, my man? That's how. That's. I
It
don't know how
should be.
voodoo. I have voodoo, but I rarely go on there.
Yeah, we
I know
never
with
use it
Amazon,
anymore.
Yeah, I know with
Yeah.
Amazon, you can't
Yeah.
purchase anything without putting in a passcode. So.
Yeah, everything's passcode protected, but like I said, we've bought very little on Voodoo, so that's probably why it's not. So,
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, those are the movies that we have for you guys. Check those out this Halloween season. You will not be disappointed. And if you come back and say you were disappointed with one of them, you're probably wrong.
True.
But yeah. So thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, share, turn on the bell, like our video, and as we continue to keep making more videos talking about great movies.
Yep.
So
All right.
we will see you guys soon. Oh, and we will be having some movie news coming up for you guys later this week. Some news that might be good, some news that's not so good, and we'll just see where it takes us.
Yep.